second encounter of the tournament, Hungrybox defeats Mango 3-1 to reset the bracket. Since it's a double elimination tournament, Hungrybox must defeat Mango for a second time to win the tournament.
Three and a half hours of diving. Finally, man, one cactus.
Is your pound 20.
I'm just gonna like take like a 4-minute break or whatever. So I'll keep this playing. So
after an incredible comeback victory, Hungrybox begins to celebrate in front of the stunned crowd. But unfortunately for him, the celebration he earned is about to be cut very, very short.
Hungrybox is the champion.
What is that?
Once again.
What is that? What is he holding?
I'm not sure what that is in his hand.
Hey! Hey! Who threw this at me?
He's saying someone threw that at him?
Just because Hungrybox won?
Just 10 seconds after his victory, a disgruntled spectator throws a raw crab at Hungrybox, narrowly missing his head. In a matter of seconds, Hungrybox is transformed from the most joyful person in the arena to the most miserable. Most people don't care that much about video games, but some people do. Out of these people, most don't care about competitive gaming, but some do. And for all the esports out there, most spectators don't care about watching a 19-year-old game, but still, some do. And out of those few people, surely, no one cares enough about the outcome of a match to throw a raw crab at the winner. But on this day in Laurel, Maryland, someone did. As far as I know, this is the only time something like this has ever happened in the history of competitive video games. But if it was gonna happen, it was probably gonna happen to Hungrybox. Who is Hungrybox?
You know how hard I work on here?
Before we can talk about Hungrybox, we have to talk about the game that made his name. Super Smash Bros. Is one of Nintendo's flagship franchises, releasing on every console dating back to its debut on the Nintendo 64. The game was originally conceived by developer Masahiro Sakurai, who was interested in creating a 4-player fighting game with Nintendo's most iconic characters. Despite his vision, Sakurai prepared to field the game with generic fighters, as he never anticipated that Nintendo would approve of their flagship characters in such uncharted territory. However, much to his surprise, Nintendo greenlit the most ambitious crossover event in history, and Super Smash Bros. Was born from the defiance of expectations. The game released in 1999 to a warm reception from critics and audiences alike. While the novelty of barbarically pummeling beloved childhood mascots drew people into Smash, the game's unique mechanics kept them playing. When first conceiving of the game, Sakurai wanted Smash to stand out from the typical 2D fighters of the era, and he accomplished this with the game's fundamental objective. In standard fighting games, players damage each other to deplete a health bar, and you win the game by lowering your opponent's health to 0. Super Smash Bros. Alters this formula by instead programming damage to increase knockback, and setting the win condition to launching your opponent off screen. This relatively simple change produced radically different gameplay from other fighting games. Instead of prioritizing complex button combinations and
yeah, you're subscribed, Seahawk. Poke gifted you a sub.
Emphasis on movement, platforming, and stage positioning, mechanics that were rarely considered in other fighting games.
Let's do that. Let's have this muffin, and I'm gonna start up again.
Sakurai wanted to offer the player a new experience with each session, and in doing so created a game with incredibly divergent outcomes. resulting in dynamic, unpredictable gameplay, but most importantly, a game that's very hard to figure out. This design philosophy would serve as the blueprint for the series going forward. And while Smash 64 brought a lot of ideas to the table, the concept wouldn't realize its full potential until its successor, Melee. It seems as if Super Smash Bros. Melee has always been in a race against time.
Yeah, Cactus.
Going all the way back to its development.
Also, see you
After
still
the
here. If you
success
still
of
hear
Smash
me or
64,
something,
Sakurai was tasked with developing its sequel
I'm in
in time for the debut of
be seeing my
Nintendo's
server
new
because I'm
console,
really
the
lonely.
GameCube. Giving
Anyways.
the team at HAL Laboratory just 13 months to complete its most daunting project yet. After an exhaustive development cycle, the result was an
Little bit
accidental
muffin.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Compared to its predecessor,
You know, Little
Melee
Bites.
was much
Those are the ones I eat.
Faster movement, faster attacks, faster combos. The rapid pace of the game contributed to incredibly dynamic and unpredictable combat. Melee offers the player an immense degree
I have
of
2 more
control over
packs.
their character. Mechanically speaking, Sakurai
Because they
described
should be
Melee
good for
as
the next 4
sharpest
hours.
in the series. Players seem to agree as
Oh, actually,
upon
wait, hold
release,
on a second.
Melee was a smash hit. However, despite the game's tight presentation, Melee would go on to be defined by its loose ends. The game's hasty development allowed a few oversights to slip through the cracks. In due time, players would begin to discover numerous exploits to gain a competitive edge over their opponents. Combined with Melee's already fast gameplay, these techniques were able to transform an already good game into a masterpiece. Super Smash Bros. Melee was, without a doubt,
I don't know
a
why
very
I've had the
successful
performance stats
casual
open for the
game,
past.
but its unique
Like,
mechanics set the foundation for one of the
I've been open
greatest
for- I've been open for
competitive
9
games of all
hours.
time. The discovery of such advanced tactics would push the game's potential beyond what anyone thought was possible.
Tic-tac.
Shortly after the game's release, local Melee tournaments began to spring up everywhere, and thousands of players began contending for the title of the best Melee player in the world. Starting in 2004, Major League Gaming would sponsor Melee on its pro circuit, incentivizing the highest level of competition with thousands of dollars in prize money.
So,
As
now we look for a
tournaments
rock.
became more prestigious, so too did
Once
the
I see
players.
that, look for a
Captain
coin.
Jack, Isaiah, and Azin emerged as Melee's top contenders, but no early player was better than Ken, the undisputed king of Smash. From 2003 to 2005, he won almost every tournament he entered, beating
Rock
Melee's
sex,
best competition
woohoo.
along the way.
Wait, Seahawk, you were there for that?
2006, new
Also, you want a
challengers
VC?
like
Because
PC Chris and
I am
Korean
bored.
DJ began closing the gap. Ken retained his crown all the way through 2007, where Melee made its first appearance at EVO. After battling through Melee's biggest tournament yet, Ken would once again emerge victorious in what many at the time considered to be Melee's last hurrah. In competitive video
Can't right now
games,
crying.
it's customary for players to compete
Of course,
in the
you were
latest
releasing
version of
VC
their
on a Friday night
franchise.
on this
After
Friday night.
7
Like,
years as the GameCube's most
I
popular
picked the wrong
title,
day, man.
Melee was scheduled to be supplanted by the next Smash game. As the franchise moved to the Wii, the competitive Melee scene was expected to follow. However, following one of the most anticipated releases in video game history, Super Smash Bros. Brawl was not at all what people expected. The combat was slow and plodding. Lower hit stun severely limited the potential of comboing. Advanced tactics like wave dashing were replaced with punishing mechanics like tripping, where the game would randomly stun players for dashing.
Oh, wow. Wow. And you hate to see that kind of thing happen. Oh, you stupid son of a... What?
Needless to say, the sluggish pace of Brawl was a drastic change from the fast-paced precision of Melee. Supposedly, Sakurai felt that Melee's highly technical execution made the game too difficult for casual play, and he worked to make the sequel much more simple and accessible for new players. While Brawl succeeded as a casual game, it suffered competitively. Many of Melee's top players tried to give Brawl a chance. 1 year after his final Melee victory, Ken would return to the finals of EVO, playing Brawl, where he would be promptly beaten by a 14-year-old kid. The player who beat him had no prior tournament experience, and he only entered because his family just happened to be vacationing near the venue at the time. The tournament result was viewed as a total farce by the competitive Smash community. The fact that essentially a random player could score a fluke win against a skilled veteran like Ken served as an indictment against Brawl as a competitive game. With all this considered, it didn't take long before many of Melee's competitors soured on the new Smash game. For the first time ever, the Smash community was divided over the future of the franchise. In an era before esports were commonplace in online culture, many fans struggled to accept Smash Bros. As anything beyond its original role as a party game. Most were prepared to write off Melee as a stale, dead game with nothing left to figure out, and the vast majority of players were ready to move on with the series. Only a small ragtag community would stay behind in what they considered to be the better game, and luckily for them,
Fully
this
voxelized,
7-year-old
nice.
title was still very much alive.
Right now we are in.
I probably only have 11 viewers right now because I put on this documentary.
It's like 7:30 in the morning. It's cold. I'm wearing a jacket, so it's not Florida.
Hungrybox started
Is that a rock?
entering local Melee tournaments in the summer of 2007. In just a few months, he started regularly placing in the top 5. And by the next year, he started winning. As HBox kept playing,
Why am I
he found
torturing myself with this?
conquering tougher and tougher competition. In
One, because I want a
2009,
new
he
skin.
entered Revival of
Well,
Melee,
I actually got 2
the
new
game's
skins from
first
this.
major tournament since the release of Brawl, facing off against the best in the
2,
nation.
well, like you said, for the
Hungrybox
lulls.
placed
And
7th.
3, I want New
4
Neo
months
City Challenge to
later
be the
at
last thing
Genesis,
I do
he
in
placed
Kaizo
3rd.
until Final Home Run.
2 months after that, at Tip Top 5, he won. Just 2
Okay, it's not
years
even
after
that,
he
it's just a
started
meme at this
competing,
point. Like, I can't do New
Hungrybox
Neo City
was
Challenge.
already contending for the
I beat
title of
Void Lands
best in the
Challenge.
world.
I can't do New
But
Neo
in
City
addition
Challenge.
to his
Neo
individual
New City or whatever.
success, HBox was arguably taking part in something much more important. The rise of Hungrybox was indicative of a new generation of Melee. By 2010, the old legends
Don't
of
see a rock
yesteryear
yet.
had pretty much vanished. Like most of the old
Is this HD
community,
Panic
they
Codec?
had moved on to new frontiers.
No, this is
The
Lemon.
departure of Melee's old generation left new top players the opportunity to usher in a new era. In January 2010, the Pound
So,
4 tournament
I mean, I'll
would
link the
mark
video in chat if
beginning
you
of a
want
period
to, like,
in
watch it
Melee's
later.
history known as the era of
Yeah,
the
Green
5
Simpsons,
gods,
dude.
specifically serving as the first tournament with all 5 gods in attendance. The story of Melee's gods begins with the first god, Mewtwo King. Beginning in 2005,
I did not know the story
Mewtwo
begins
King
with the
would
first.
eventually rise and defeat Melee's old legends. Mewtwo King's Melee ascent was due almost entirely to his pioneering research into the game's combat. Frame data, character matchups, KO percentages, information that's readily accessible today was originally discovered by Mewtwo King's exhaustive exploration of Melee's mechanics. And for many years, no player knew more about the game than Mewtwo King. In 2008, Mewtwo King was widely regarded as the top player in both Melee and Brawl. To this day, he remains the only player to achieve the concurrent title of Best in the World in 2 different Smash games. And as impressive as this accomplishment was, it meant that Mewtwo King's attention was divided among 2 very different games, leaving the door open for many to challenge his throne. The second of Melee's gods to rise to power would be Mango, who, by 2009, would overtake Mewtwo King as the top Melee player. Throughout the history of Melee, many would argue that no player had a more intuitive understanding of the game than Mango. Watching Mango perform at his highest level is an experience unlike anything else in Melee. The way he could
I'm just happy it'll
effortlessly
be over
string
soon.
together complex combos led to a style that was as fluid as it was unstoppable. At times, the only thing that could stop him was how much he was willing to try. Mango's exciting and aggressive playstyle made him a consummate fan favorite.
Imagine a task of this.
especially through his
Oh my
iconic
god.
clashes with Melee's
That's
third
horrible.
god, Armada. As Europe's best player, Armada carried the weight of a whole continent on his shoulders as he traveled to prove himself in the United States. Historically, Melee's competitive scene has viewed Europe as a significantly weaker region than North America, a stigma that was often used by Americans to invalidate the success of European players. Armada would defy everyone's expectations by immediately contending with America's best. His unrivaled dedication and consistency would make him one of the most formidable opponents Melee had ever seen. Hungrybox established himself as Melee's 4th god through his meteoric rise in 2009, and
Yeah,
last
can't
but not
RM launch a
least,
Kaizo.
Melee's new generation would be cemented through the rise of the 5th god, Dr. PP. Although he was the last to develop, PPMD would quickly rise to the highest level of competition. PP's style relied on tactical execution to pick apart his opponents with surgical precision. When the doctor was
Dr.
in,
PP.
you were about to be prescribed your daily dose of
Said
destruction.
appropriate.
These are Melee's 5 gods. Now that we've
I bet,
introduced
guys.
who they are, we can talk about what they are. Carrying the title of God in any game entails a great deal of prestige, and Smash Bros is no exception. So what exactly did these 5 players do to transcend us lowly mortals? It's unknown who exactly introduced the term 5 gods to describe Melee's top players, but the expression started seeing frequent use in the summer of 2014, most likely used to describe the era of supreme dominance that preceded it. From 2009 to 2015, a member of the 5 gods would win every major tournament, utterly dismantling the rest of the competition in the process.
I want to find a
In
rock. I
any
got
competitive
it.
sport or game, it's
sex
typical
it.
to have 1 or 2 elite players win a lion's share of the competitions. Chess, for example, has witnessed Magnus Carlsen dominate the competition for the past 6 years. A rarer case is currently on display in tennis, which has seen 3 players dominate major tournaments over the past decade. A competitive
Same
game
person
with
made the
5
Freeze
elite
VGR, made
players occupying the same era
Hey,
is
Fox
almost
Bar.
unheard
Start
of.
a few
But if such an unlikely event were to occur,
Oh my
it's
god.
somewhat fitting that it would happen in a game
Shaking
used
my
to
jaw.
defying expectations.
SMJ.
As the legend goes, Melee's
don't mind
5
anymore?
gods would hardly ever
Eh,
lose to any other
I guess.
players, and all were capable of defeating each other in any given competition. But just how much better were the gods than everyone else? Well, as a reminder, I like to recall 2 cases involving the player Hax, a skilled competitor known for his flashy combos and lightning-quick execution. In 2013, Hax was ranked as the number 6 player in the world, the best of the non-gods. He would remain a perennial top 10 player until his hiatus in 2015. In a 2014 tournament, Hax faced off in a set against PPMD. In the first game, he got 3-stocked in about 2.5 minutes. In the second game, he got 4-stocked in 68 seconds. Later that year, Hax would compete in a set against Mango, which Mango would win 3-1. Not the most impressive result, until you realize that Mango doesn't actually main Marth or Captain Falcon.
Yo, this video can't
That's
see the
just the
speedruns.
difference between a good
Yay.
player and a god. Even
We
when
hear
you're
the
good,
gaming.
you're a long
Woohoo.
way from the best.
Yo, did he just walk up slowly and down smash?
At one point, the gods were so far
I
above
think he
the
just
rest
walked
of
up
the
slowly and down
competition
smashed.
that they could even win with their secondary characters. Now would probably be a good time to talk about Melee's characters. Out of all the Smash games, Melee may have the most interesting character composition. Some Smash games have 1 or 2 characters that outright dominate the meta, with the most obvious example being Brawl's aptly named Meta Knight, a character so blatantly overpowered that some tournaments chose to ban him entirely. On the other hand, the best Melee character has always been kinda tough to figure out. To put it simply, about a third of Melee's roster are completely unusable in a competitive setting, another third are just kinda bad, and the last third are all capable of winning tournaments. To this day, the community remains largely undecided on which character is actually the best, a debate that can be traced all the way back to the beginning of the game through the history of Melee's tier lists. That's right, this widespread facet of modern internet discourse originated from the niche purpose of categorizing characters in fighting games. In the early days of Melee, Sheik was considered the best character with her rapid attacks and movement. As the meta progressed through the rest of the 2000s, more characters would emerge
13
as
viewers.
top-tier contenders.
Yay, that's more
Peach
viewers
with
than
her
Michael
strong
has.
aerial attacks, Marth with his chain grabs and huge spacing, Captain Falcon with his heavy combos, the Ice Climbers with their infinite combo, and the Space Animals, Fox and Falco, with their great mobility and high damage. And then there's Puff.
There's Puff.
In any competitive video game, your character is far more important than just a colorful
By the way,
avatar.
10 minutes away from the longest
It's an
stream ever.
extension of the self, and an integral part of a player's identity. In Melee, perhaps no player is more intertwined with a character than Hungrybox and his Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is the most confounding character in all of Melee. She arguably should have never existed as a Smash character at all. Puff is
Does it
not
like me
even among
joking
the
on
most
Switch?
popular
No.
characters in her own franchise, but she wound up in Smash anyway because of her similar character design to Kirby. The Smash 64 developers would
I'm
recycle
gonna take a
Kirby's
Discord
character
break.
model and animations to fill out the game's 12th and final character slot, and thus, the balloon Pokemon would remain as a mainstay for the rest of the franchise. At a glance, Jigglypuff in Melee seems like a rather mediocre character. She has 5 jumps and great mobility, but her ground game leaves much to be desired. Most of her attacks do unimpressive damage and have a short range. Combined with the slowest dash
Back on
speed
my
in the
screen.
game, Puff has a
Yeah.
hard time
Yep.
approaching other characters. 2 of her special attacks are practically useless in a competitive setting. She's the second lightest character with the slowest falling speed, meaning she tends to die much faster than any other character in the game. With all this considered, it's difficult to imagine this character seeing any kind of competitive success. This sentiment was echoed during the early parts of the game with Melee's inaugural tier list, which placed Jigglypuff firmly in the bottom half of the cast. However, as the game progressed, the Melee community found that Puff was a lot better than what they initially anticipated, due in large part
Where?
to 2 moves. Back air is Jigglypuff's strongest aerial attack.
Thought I'd see
Thanks
the
to a
rock sooner, not
disjointed
gonna lie.
hitbox, this move provides Jigglypuff with her only powerful ranged option. Its relatively low end lag makes it spammable, granting Puff her only real way to space out opponents. And while back air may be Puff's most versatile move, it doesn't come close to her most game-changing move.
Rest! Rest! It's over!
The premise of Rest is quite simple. Hitting the move deals massive damage and knockback, killing most characters at very low percents. Missing the move will stun you for 3 seconds, basically guaranteeing your own demise. Scoring a Rest is very difficult due to the move's small hitbox, basically requiring Puff to be on top of the opponent's character to connect. But at the highest level of competition, the threat of getting rested forces other characters to treat Puff like a ticking time bomb. Rest prevents opponents from
Hey guys,
aggressively
did you
rushing
know-
down Puff and smothering her
yeah,
with
did you
their
know that in terms of
otherwise
water-based
superior
Pokemon?
attacks. It forces other
No.
players to back down and keep their distance, as one slip-up could lead to devastating consequences. Throughout the 2000s, players would begin to discover the power of Puff, and the character would gradually move up Melee's tier list, peaking at number 3 overall in 2010, after Hungrybox and Mango showed that Puff could dominate at the highest level. However, on the cusp of what looked to be a Jigglypuff uprising, the character was about to run into a major roadblock. Midway through 2010, Mango unexpectedly dropped Puff as his main, choosing instead to move forward with Fox and Falco. Mango's character swap marked the beginning of a trend in Melee that would go on to be known as 20XX.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow!
By 2011, the Melee metagame had undergone more than 10 years of evolution, and its combat was starting to get very optimized. For Melee's community, no character represented the game's optimization more than Fox. Ever since the beginning,
14
Fox
viewers.
was
Yeah,
always
yeah, that's
considered
more
to be a
viewers than
character with
Joe.
incredible potential, but no one could truly harness it until the metagame had progressed beyond a high enough threshold of technical skill. To put it simply, Fox in Melee is the fastest character in the fastest Smash game. If played perfectly, Fox's rapid movement and attacks should theoretically overwhelm any other character in the game. Optimal execution with Fox pushes the limits of what's humanly possible with a controller, but that wouldn't stop
do I
many
see Rock?
players from seeking the holy grail of peak Melee performance. One of those players
Might
was
see Rock, I'm not
Hax,
sure.
the originator of the 20XX meme, and widely regarded as the best Captain Falcon player in the world before switching to Fox, much to the dismay of Captain Falcon fans who viewed the switch as a betrayal. Mango's infamous set versus Hax supposedly came as a result of Mango trying to teach Hax a lesson that Fox was not quite the Melee messiah that everyone envisioned. Some of you may see this as ironic since Mango himself abandoned his original character for Fox, but it starts to make more sense when you consider the scale of sickness. The Melee community loves to throw around this idea of players and characters being sick. A sick character roughly translates to a character being cool, dynamic, and generally fun to watch and play. Arguably more important than Melee's tier list is its sick list, which, by my estimate, looks something like this. You see, Hax switching from Falcon to Fox may have improved his standing on the tier list, but he kicked himself down a peg on the sick list, and the move was somewhat unpopular. On the other hand, when Mango switched from Puff to Fox, he upgraded his sickness by a huge
Probably gonna
margin,
get wind soon.
because in the realm of Melee, no character is lamer than Jigglypuff.
Right, because he's a peach. Boo! Look at Hugo's so bored. Look out! Hugo's so bored. Boo!
For many fans of the game, Jigglypuff represents the antithesis of everything that makes Melee great. She requires lower technical skill than the rest of the high-tier characters. She's floaty and hard to combo. Her playstyle is inherently slow, campy, and defensive. Spectators often accuse her of being boring to watch and play. These are many of the same points that Melee players use to claim why Brawl is an inferior successor. And yet, sitting right inside their otherwise flawless masterpiece is a little pink blemish. For this fundamental incongruity, Jigglypuff is Melee's black sheep. But even the most despised character in all of Melee can still find support from some players. One of those people was Hungrybox, who all of a sudden found himself as the #1 Jigglypuff player in the world. Unlike Mango, who had always demonstrated proficiency with a variety of characters, Hungrybox only played Puff. Whether it was out of loyalty or necessity, Hungrybox would show up year after year, game after game, rain or shine with the same tried and true character. Most Melee players consider Jigglypuff to have a solid matchup spread, having winning or even matchups with most of the other high-tier characters. But without a doubt, Jigglypuff's most difficult matchup comes against Fox, whose powerful vertical attacks are capable of launching Puff into the stratosphere at low percents. Fox versus Puff is quite possibly Melee's most intriguing matchup, pitting the strongest offensive character against the strongest defensive character. For ages, Fox stood mightily as Jigglypuff's only hard counter, and as Fox began to dominate Melee's meta, the game was about to get a lot harder for Hungrybox. By 2011, the era of the Five Gods was well underway. Despite HBox's impressive 2010, his tournament results would stumble a bit in the following years.
So Comic and
He would
Poke can
grab the
respond, and
occasional
no one
first
else will
place at
respond.
smaller events,
Maybe
but
Thema.
would struggle to win at tournaments with more than one other god in attendance. Although around this time he hardly had much of an opportunity. Melee was still very much in the midst of a competitive dark age. and
Unreal?
nationally
Wow.
organized tournaments
Poke's real,
were
guys.
few and far between.
Poke exists.
Despite its small underground following, the Melee community held steady, persisting through sparse events and prize money fueled almost entirely by the love of the game itself. Their patience would pay off when, unbeknownst to anyone at the time, Melee would once again be thrust into the spotlight. 2013 was arguably the most influential year in Melee's history, a year that was marked by 3 monumental events. 2013 oversaw the release of Project M, one of the most ambitious video game mods of all time, which sought to reimagine what Brawl could have been had it retained Melee's fast-paced mechanics. For the first time ever, Melee players could enjoy what they felt was a true sequel to Melee. Also in 2013, independent filmmaker Travis Beauchamp would release the Smash Bros. Documentary to critical acclaim. The film would bring unprecedented exposure to Melee's underground scene and would go on to inspire a new generation of players to compete in the coming years. But without a doubt, 2013 saw perhaps the most important event in the history of competitive Melee, where after 6 long years of slumber, Super Smash Bros. Melee would return to EVO. The announcement quickly drew in over 700 competitors, making EVO 2013 the biggest Melee tournament to date. And heading into the event, all eyes shifted towards the 5 gods of the game.
Spot is hit and he can't make it back. And Mango is gonna
They're
take
going
it
really
over Dr.
slowly.
Peepee.
Okay, that's just a not really moment. Where is the rock? Yo, hi Matt. I'm
Covering this edge position.
starting to go clinically insane.
And 2-0 Armada knocks out.
Man, I've listened to this video in the strangest places. Like, well, listening to it now, it's goofy. Cause like,
No, can't keep him off the edge, and then another
just
edge.
become sane.
Taking
Oh, true. Okay. Once you become the rock, I'll find sane. Once I
To
find a
everyone's
rock, I'll be sane,
surprise,
probably.
Hungrybox found himself in winners finals of Melee's most important tournament to date. Even more shocking was his opponent, Wobbles, an ice climbers player in the twilight of his career who
take a
managed
break
to
from the
slay
left
two
hand real
gods
quick.
on his way to one of the most improbable runs in Melee history. Hungrybox was in prime position to become EVO champion. All he had to do was beat Wobbles in a favorable character matchup and then win just one more set in Grand Finals, and he would claim Melee's most coveted title.
Oh, wind. Oh my god, a person. Oh, I relieved.
This time, oh, he got it this time. Oh, what? Wow! You're done. Hungrybox down to his last stock, perhaps. Winner side. Zoning him out.
Not lonely anymore because someone joined the BC. Woohoo.
Ooh, that's it. Wobbles is in grand finals.
Astoundingly, Wobbles did the unthinkable by conquering a third god in a row. To make matters worse for HBox, the moment he lost, he didn't even know that he had.
Wait, do they know it's 2 out of 3? I think they think it's 3 out of 5. I don't know if they know. I don't know if they know. Do they know? Yeah, I think they think it's 3 out of 5 because that's the standard. And there's the handshake, Hungrybox. Oh, Hungrybox is not happy about this. There's the handshake. And Wobbles.
After this discouraging moment, Hungrybox had to imagine
I
that
see
his
it.
golden opportunity to claim the
Rock.
EVO crown had slipped right through
Yay,
his
I
fingers.
see the rock.
The rest, as
I
they
think.
say, is history.
That is definitely a rock.
Hungrybox needs a miracle right now. Please go. Oh, he read that roll! He read that roll! 3-0 in that first set to get revenge against the man who sent him in the loser's bracket. Situation, but still there it is! And there it is! The up smash! And Wobbles is gonna go down! 3-1 Mango has come all the way back!
We may never know just how influential Mango's EVO
Why are
you
13
twerking on
win
it? What?
was, but the game's most popular player
I gotta do
winning
that to
its
every
biggest
rock, you know.
event
How do
was
I
enough to
ground pound?
catapult Melee out
Okay,
of the
you know
dark ages
Alright, let's
and
go.
into a renaissance. It breathed
Alright,
new
now I
life
gotta
into
look
the
for
game as
now I
a
gotta look for the
competitive
coin.
spectacle, during a time when esports were just
So
beginning
that's a
to enter the
43%
public
point
consciousness.
whatever, I don't
In the
know.
coming
So
years,
the coin's on the
viewership,
left side.
attendance, sponsorships, and prize money would skyrocket. After EVO 2013, Melee would never be the same. While the game was booming, Hungrybox was slumping. With his loss at EVO, HBox only added to his 3-year-long major tournament losing streak, and he did so in
Oh yeah, also
gut-wrenching
longest stream ever
fashion.
now.
Not just getting upset by Wobbles, but also handing the tournament win to Mango, who was, at the time, Hungrybox's biggest rival.
Longest stream ever in
Following his
history.
EVO victory, Mango
Never
hosted
been
a
a
now
longer stream
infamous
before.
Reddit AMA, on which Hungrybox
Yeah.
voiced some scathing remarks about how
Don't look it
Mango
up.
had disrespected him for
Yeah,
his
look it up on
entire
Bing.
career. Mango's
Look it up on
response,
Bing.
come up and
Look
get
it up
me.
on Sage 211 browser.
Look it up on 3DS browser.
3DS browser, that's the
2013
browser.
also saw the release of Melee's first annual player rankings. Mango, following his monumental win at EVO, scored the #1 rank. Hungrybox, in a lackluster year, sat 5th, the worst of the best. As 2014 rolled around, things would only get more tumultuous for Hungrybox. This was the year that 20XX began to tip the scales of the Melee metagame. In addition to the other gods of the game, Hungrybox now had to face a rising generation of highly technical Fox players like Hax, Leffen, and Lucky. With each tournament, the Puff main was dealing with more threats than ever before. If the Fox Revolution wasn't enough, HBox also faced challenges that few others could have anticipated. During this time, Armada would frequently thwart HBox by using Young Link, an obscure mid-tier who was only really viable at countering Puff. Hungrybox's losing streak would continue deep into 2014, where he would once again enter EVO in desperate need of a win. In his most impressive performance of the year, Hungrybox would play valiantly, beating PPMD and finally vanquishing Armada's Young Link, only to be double eliminated by Mango, who won the tournament for the second year in a row. What Hungrybox lacked in winning, he made up for with his flair for the dramatic.
She spins around when she does it too. Oh man, Hungrybox still alive. Leffen.
This guy's confident. He's confident now. He's got his confidence back.
A few moments later.
Uh-oh. Wow. Is this it? Okay, he PI'd it away. Oh my God! That's the setup. HungryBox, humongous comeback.
Around this time, HungryBox
Trying to
started
find the
developing
funny
a penchant for
trying to
making
find the
ridiculous comebacks.
token.
These clutch displays reminded everyone of his skill and earned him the moniker of Clutchbox. But improbable comebacks weren't the only dramatic traits of HBox's play. Much like his in-game character, HBox 2 was a bit theatrical and emotional. During this time, he was most often characterized by his explosive pop-offs after close wins. Perhaps it was his way of confronting the growing pressure from Melee's new wave of spectators. The combination of his god status and defensive playstyle caused many fans to actively root against him. By the summer of 2014, Melee was no longer just a ragtag bunch of players competing mostly for bragging rights. It was becoming a legitimate esport, with its players falling under the scrutiny of thousands of spectators. You have to imagine that any player would have a tough time adjusting to such a drastic change, especially in HungryBox's case where, more often than not, the crowd was firmly against him.
Oh, I thought you said mom.
I said, where's the coin?
For Melee, but HungryBox ended
Oh wait, you said come on, not mom.
Yeah, mom, where's the coin?
At the big house, some began to question whether he still deserved his god status.
It's on the couch.
Or if it was even worth it for him to continue sticking to Jigglypuff.
Keep walking.
For HungryBox,
Bro,
the world of Melee was about to realize that he performed the best under pressure.
Bruh, did I not say this? What?
No racial slurs.
Never mind, this is on Twitch. Alright, I'll have to download this. 223 megabytes. Okay.
How to make pro gaming video 2020.
Oh, you can see some stuff in the distance, like dust.
Like dust and the land. Yeah, I'm a little past halfway. Well, I'm like 77% done with the whole thing.
Like from front to back.
Yeah.
HungryBox opened 2015 with a bang by winning Paragon Orlando in dominant.
What is that chat, Sage? I'm coming for you.
HBox won a tournament with multiple other gods in attendance, snapping a losing streak dating back to 2010. The celebration would not last long, however, as through his victory, HungryBox had just awoken a sleeping giant.
That's it. Wow. And just like that, HungryBox up 2-0. Fox? Did I hear Fox? I heard Fox. Okay, let's see what Armada can do here.
Yo, you should go that way.
No.
Yeah, you're going the wrong way.
Bro, imagine you're going you're going the wrong way, and then Lac2 just appears, holds up the wrong way sign.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 1%. -1.
-4. I'm counting up, guys. -5, -6. Oh, wrong chat.
Gave HungryBox a matchup nightmare at first, but it also provided him with plenty of practice to learn how to counter it. The prior years of frustration gave him enough experience to turn a daunting matchup into an increasingly winnable one. Armada's Fox, however, was different than anything HungryBox had ever seen before. It was as technical as any other player, but matched the patience and discipline of HungryBox's own playstyle. Following Paragon, Armada's Fox would beat HungryBox at Apex 2015, then again at Sandstorm. After the character change,
I feel like I missed the coin,
Armada 7
but
in the next 8 sets they played.
I don't think I missed the coin.
Oh, you're listening to the HungryBox documentary where he gets depressed or something?
No.
2015 featured the debut of heel HungryBox, where he learned to embrace his role as Melee's villain.
I'm trying to find.
I don't know if you can hear this in my headset, but like, listen to the crowd. Yo, the crowd is not happy.
One more run and I finish the sheet.
One more
and
run.
also there's 8 levels, 16 levels, all levels.
4 levels.
Almost sum up the 5 levels sheet. That's like verifying 100 runs, except retiming files in every single one of them.
Also referred to as race.
Actually, 99 runs, I think.
I'm Slim Shady.
Oh yeah, I mean we still verified those anyway. 59 FPS shenanigan.
I love 59 FPS run. Oh, there it is.
What?
Funny coin.
I've seen it. Where? Or is my thing? Oh, never mind. I think I just really bad stream delayed.
Since I can approve a lover, I'm determined to prove a villain.
There we go.
It's the coin. Stop beating it up. I didn't tell you to touch it.
Bro, what? So now there's gonna be nothing for the next, like, while.
And Hungrybox defeats Mango. There will not be a three-peat. Mango is out of the tournament.
You should just AFK and for 10 minutes.
No. That's like saying kill yourself.
Oh, I already told you to. What?
What?
Huh?
Huh? Kill yourself? Huh?
Hungrybox would then go on to beat
Huh?
PPMD and return to EVO
17,
Grand Finals before
Who's
losing
that?
once more to Armada's Fox. Although he equaled his placement from the prior year,
My
EVO
step uncle.
2015 felt different. Hungrybox had
Yeah,
finally
step-uncle.
bested his greatest rival on the biggest stage. He looked stronger and more confident in his game than ever before. EVO 2015 represented a major turning point in HBox's career, where he toppled one rival for another to take their place.
Okay, one last run.
Hungrybox had his sights set
Okay.
Not
on
one last
Armada.
run. 50 more
This
runs.
tournament is looking pretty.
Are you,
As in,
Blows it pretty hard.
are you playing SR2?
no, I'm playing Google Sheets.
A few months later, the two would
Google
once again
Docs.
meet at the big house.
Now you're playing
where
SP's
Armada would
retiming tool.
double eliminate HBox.
No, I'm not even using that. I haven't used that. I've used sumwest.com
What's that?
because YouTube player inaccurate. Because I might have accidentally retimed 10 things on the sheet, so that's why I've resorted to downloading every single one of them.
That is one of the decisions.
2015, their hometown tournament, HBox and Crunch
Um,
started talking about how to deal
You know,
with
you could
Puff's
just
most
spam
difficult
racial
matchup.
slurs and lose mod and not do
Soon
this.
Crunch assumed the role of Hungrybox's full-time
Sure.
coach, and after losing to Armada at the big house, HBox and Crunch made it their mission to analyze Armada's playstyle and find a way to beat him. For weeks, Hungrybox dedicated himself to study and grind the matchup, so that the next time they
If
Pardon?
it was 2018,
would be prepared.
then 156 would be possible.
Pardon?
Because you can save 0.4 offloads, because SR4 was like that.
SR4 be like that. Also, 10 viewers instead of 14. I'm gonna throw a waffle at the wall. You get what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Is that Gonia 3K? What about Gonia 3K?
Gonia to your house.
Anyone and everyone that Melee had to offer. He had spent a whole year building himself up as Melee's unstoppable villain, but after perhaps the most monumental win of his career so far,
911.
the pompous, arrogant HBox unexpectedly
Why?
broke
Why
down
911?
tears.
You could just call like 319-912-6292, like the phone number. You should call it. It is not the demons.
You'll never be the best. You'll be good, but you'll never be the best.
Microsoft.
Yeah, I'm doing this thing on Microsoft Bimbos.
Hungrybox was supposed to be there too,
They
but
better
due
use
to a
BlackBerry.
scheduling conflict, he couldn't participate.
BlackBerry as
The
opposed
producers
to
decided
Whiteberry.
to replace Hungrybox with a cardboard cutout of
Okay.
Hungrybox. An amusing prop, but also a disturbingly accurate metaphor of how many in the Smash community view him.
It looks like you might know something about.
I know nothing.
You have no. Wait,
I know nothing.
My
any of you
balls
guys
itch.
have any experience hanging out with him?
I'm actually not entirely sure what to say because I feel like I know Hungrybox more than I know Juan.
It seems that Juan has always had
It's
a
my
hard
last
time fitting
chance.
in, dating all the way back
It's
to
your
his
last
childhood
chance. If you
when his
don't
family
win, you
emigrated
kill
from
yourself.
Argentina to the United States. You have to imagine that it's not exactly easy.
No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, it's the equivalent.
Most of your classmates don't even speak the same language as you. Things at home
Oh my
are
God,
much better
Tic Tacs,
for a
please.
neither. Juan's domestic
Oh
life
my
was
god, I'm about to
often
fart.
thrown
These
into
Tic Tacs
turmoil
aren't coming
by his
out.
father, who would mismanage his family's wealth
Oh
and
my.
not
Holy,
abandon them
Oh,
to his own
holy,
Mac,
business
yo!
interests. Juan's
holy
complex
crap, holy crap,
relationship
holy
with
crap.
his father in the world of
Yo,
gambling
Mac.
ultimately created the
Ugh,
competitor
I'm
you
having
see
Tic
today,
Tacs right
for
now.
better or for worse.
Oh my
The
god.
conflict Juan faced growing up instilled in him a powerful work ethic
Holy
and
crap, holy
unparalleled
crap.
mental
Oh,
fortitude
wow.
OG raid.
to excel in melee and
911.
in life.
No,
All those
no, not
losses over the
911.
years suddenly become a lot more reasonable when you realize that HBox was
Relieved,
balancing
wrong
We get
number.
mine.
the full-time
Wrong number,
student
relieved.
workload and then a full-time job as an
That's the wrong emote.
Here's the amazing
Alright, okay, I might just straight up. Hold on a second. Okay. That was out of nowhere. You HBox? Yes, you did. You want HBox? Here you go.
school
My bad.
and working
Hey,
your ass
can you
off.
move the, can you, hey, Sage, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
And you might need to mute the stream
Another
for
video
this.
on YouTube
What?
that intercuts Hungrybox's graduation speech with Mango's high school stories.
What are we doing?
The juxtaposition here
So
is
basically,
fascinating.
this is like
Unlike
Desert Bus.
HBox, Mango never tried at
But it's
school. He risked all of
like
his life's prospects
not
to
Desert
become the
Bus,
best melee player in the
and
world,
instead of doing it once, you do it
succeeded.
twice,
That part of Mango's
and it gives you 2
personality
skins in this game.
represents the spirit
So
of
like,
competitive
yeah,
melee as a whole. A
that's
community that was never
basically
supposed to
what
succeed,
happens.
never supposed to make it as far as they did, never supposed to outlast the other Smash
I'm like
players.
80%
And
done
yet, against all
with it.
odds,
As you can
they
tell by this
did.
stream length, this takes
Some
a very long
melee fans like
time.
to imagine that Hungrybox
Read the
would
chat.
still be successful even if he never
Mr.
picked up
Streamer,
the
have you ever
controller.
left your chair?
That Hungrybox
Have you
never
left your
needed
chair
melee,
ever since the
and that
13
melee
hours?
doesn't need
I left a
Hungrybox.
few times.
This game has been my escape for over
I don't know. How...
Okay, never mind, never mind.
Also, thanks for following, Flo. I didn't see
Never
that.
mind, I don't need a question.
You're literally in the VC.
After
You don't
moving
need to
to
type that.
America, Hungrybox used melee
I wasn't gonna ask, but
Oh, my bad. Thanks for following, Gay Bama.
Hungrybox needed melee as
nonchalantly.
much as anyone else. His passion for the game is undeniable.
28 viewers. Since I never get rated with this many people, that is the most I've ever had.
And acceptance was beginning to reject him.
That's like 20.
Else in his life, it only gave him a bigger chip
Yeah, I
on
was
his
like-
shoulder.
What?
And they
Wait, got it?
insults at you and they
I don't know.
Let's go.
I don't know why you said you got it. You're not even doing anything.
Yes, I am.
No
My
care
bad.
for what's
I'm
going on
retiming
in their
runs.
life.
I got
They don't
155s.
give
Like
a
barely.
about that.
Why is
They
there a
just
reward?
look at you,
Hold on. Why is there a
and
reward for
you
3 million
really
called
make
your
you
mom?
feel- And I came close,
Find out.
you know?
I don't
Came
know. It's just a your
really
mom
close to
reward.
just giving up, to quitting. I did.
Thanks for following, Dinosaur.
I'll play this game for 20 more years. If that's what it takes to be the best player in the world.
Your mom, duh. Yeah, that's what I did. What would the reward do?
Hungrybox ended 2015 ranked second behind Armada. Fueled by
That's a
newfound
good question.
belief that he could beat
I
anyone,
don't think anyone's ever gonna get the
Hungrybox entered
reward, so
2016
I'm not
on the
gonna
warpath.
use it. Oh yeah, and also yeah, it's your mom, silly.
The first half of the year was marked by Hungrybox and Armada swapping tournament wins. Both competitors were playing at the highest caliber of their entire careers, and they looked to be on a collision course heading into EVO.
Yes, let's go. Everything's finished. Now I have to do 816 all levels. Let's go.
Congrats, let's go. If someone redeems it, you have to give your Twitch channel to them.
Not matched before or since. For
Okay,
Hungrybox,
okay.
his path was clear.
1,
Make
2.
it back to grand finals where
Oh, it looks like I think I have to give my Twitch channel to Sage 211.
This time, however, Hungrybox would know how to beat him.
Looks like I'll have to
Truly,
give myself
it
my
would be a
channel.
battle for the ages.
Password is dicksucker19. Oh, I mean
What?
69.
30, 31 times 31 times 38.
You're not lying. You actually beat Hungrybox. That's pretty good. Congratulations. You stay for longer because you like the vibes here, but it's 1 a.m. for you and you need to go to sleep. Well, yeah, it's 12:49 a.m. here for me too. So like, enjoy your sleep. Sleep's important. Wow, you're a great new owner. Thank you. I am an amazing new owner. I'm doing something really productive with myself. Night, have a good stream. All right, good night, man. Sleep well. Don't let the murderers take you away. I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say bed bugs bite, but that's kinda okay.
You know I don't end things usual. You know I don't end things like usual, right? You know that.
No, I don't.
Also, 13
Nah.
hours on the stream. That's like 13 hours.
I only started talking to you ever, like, yesterday. Yeah,
You've known me since June 2020.
damn, that's like at least a day ago.
As the story goes, following his loss to Plup in winter semifinals, Hungrybox was so discouraged
So you met me
that he
one day
almost
ago.
checked out of the tournament
Yeah.
entirely. All of a sudden,
And I'm a mod because I was a really good person.
Oh, stage the stream. I was like, how the fuck does this loser at 3.6 million points?
Although he adorned the nickname of
Bro,
Clutch,
imagine
he
having
never actually won a major
right.
tournament from
Is
the
at
losers
least a day.
bracket.
That is true.
For a
Oh
brief
crap, the wind
moment,
changed.
In his mind, his fate was sealed.
Oh crap.
For all the progress he made and as far as he came, Hungrybox
So let me
could
explain how
not
this works.
win on
So
the biggest stage when it
basically,
mattered the most. He likely would have
going back to the mainland right now,
if it weren't for a little help
but
Captain
to make sure you can't just like AFK and just do this easily. Not easily, but like take breaks and stuff. Like there's this wind pushing you.
Before you can learn how to win, you have
yeah, I
to
said just
learn
our
how to
AFKers.
lose. It was at this moment that
like,
Hungrybox truly became clutch.
Like fall off or whatever.
All, there was still so
yeah,
much
just have to
melee
type.
left
Yep.
to play.
I did that to prevent that. Song's a banger, by the way. Yeah, I read your mind. So, also, if I do shift W, if I press escape, it just keeps going. Like I don't have my fingers on it right now, so I just do this and press E, and just adjust myself with the camera.
Oh, so that's how you get out of your chair?
No, this is not real life. Right,
no, I meant like when you ape.
970 followers.
Yeah, we don't talk about the 400 followers.
Yeah, so basically, my friend Comic Mite, like, I beg him to stop following me with all his alts, and he's not. So I have like 330 followers probably. I have like 330. If you subtract those alts, he's just been going at it and he isn't stopping. Like, I want to like get Twitch to like, I don't know, remove the follows.
Yeah, Comic Mite is kinda special. You know what I mean?
He has special education. I think that might be more impressive. I mean, kind of is impressive having like 2/3 of your followers as one person. I think that might be more impressive. Yeah, true. Why though? I don't know. He's a really strange person. You know what XUC's chat is mods ban people before they ever chat because they're flagged as alt accounts. So let's figure out how he does that. I kind of do need to figure out how he does that, but like, you see it still follow all the stuff. It's more impressive that you didn't. More impressive and you didn't buy them. Well, yeah, it didn't buy them. Like, who the hell would do? Like, I mean, some really desperate like losers would just buy followers. Really, you don't do that.
Oh yeah, I don't. Thanks for vouching for me.
You're welcome. You'll leave me to go buy milk. Goodbye. Well, hopefully the milk is tasty. I hope it tastes like milk. Yeah, so Comic Mite's alt just followed me. It's just a bunch of spam. It's just a bunch of spam letters because he doesn't know what to name them. Because that's what he always does. Comic Mite moment.
Comic Mite started to follow my account. I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't do that to your account.
Yeah, so just don't raid me.
I mean, this is a 24-hour stream, so like, let's actually right now. I mean, what? Wrong chat. I was talking about yesterday, chat. I mean, 300 days ago, chat. Oh yeah, wait, I rated you with like 40 viewers anyway, because of RGDQ. Like the last day, like I rated you, you had like 38 viewers.
Yeah, everyone didn't left. Everyone didn't leave.
Everyone left.
I mean, but yeah, it was.
Yeah. Count follows me. It's another account. 983. So I might get 1,000. I'm probably getting 1,000 followers because comic is crazy.
I'll unfollow you.
So what rank am I in?
When you're at like 999.
What rank am I in this thing?
And then the moment that changed Melee forever.
I think I am the second best player in this game. I think I'm the second best player. Like, you see the ice cream count 52. The most is 53. 2 out of, I don't know, thousands. Oh, there's a wind change. Oh, oops. Yeah, so wind change there, which is kind of cool. Yeah, probably thousands of people who played the game. They're like, I think there are 3 people who have 52 ice creams, but none of them have Voidlands Challenge, which is the hardest in the entire game. I have it. I don't have, in my opinion, the hardest in the game. Okay, it's not the hardest in the game. I just suck. So like, there's 3 things I need. There's 3 more things I need to do. This, which I'm finishing up right now. I'm not finishing up, but yeah, in this whole. Is this the whole game? No, this is not the whole game. Yeah, this is Kaiser Robot 64. There's a lot more than this. Like, if you stay around for like 3 more hours, I'll actually like arrive back at the mainland.
Sometimes the only
But then I
thing
have to wait another 2 hours anyway to get the skin I need.
The difference between winning and losing
So,
can often come down to just a few pixels.
If you come back around like 6 a.m.,
but the difference
then
between winners and
6 a.m.
losers
my time.
feels far
Yeah, that's something you would do.
For
You watched Greasy for 4 hours just now?
Competitor who was never quite good
Well,
enough. He was always so
if you were
close,
watching
yet
for 3
so
hours, you'd
far.
die.
Evo 2016
Yeah,
changed all that,
you'd probably
and
be dead.
Hungrybox walked out of that building a completely different player.
They proved
After
the odds wrong.
accomplishing what he did,
What?
nothing could stop him
What?
from becoming the best in the world. From that moment on, Hungrybox would
paid
never
off.
be
I
the
said
same,
that, man.
and
Yeah,
neither
yeah,
would
first
Melee.
place in his no life challenge. Nice. Not nice. Or nice.
After
Really, is it
conquering
nice
his
or not
greatest
nice? You decide.
challenge yet, Hungrybox fell into a bit of a slump.
I don't know.
After starting the year on fire, he would not win
Yes or
another
no? It's not. I don't
tournament
know.
after Evo, finishing
Maybe
second in the
not.
rankings,
Oh
once
my
again
god.
trailing Armada. Following a disappointing loss at the
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
House, he would take
Relieve's
a
really
moment to pause
indecisive.
and reevaluate
I think.
his
I
life.
don't know.
Perhaps guided by those
Yeah, I don't think that's.
discouraging
I don't think that's
words
an.
that
I don't think.
haunted
I don't
him
know.
for his entire career, he knew what he had to do.
Get that guy
At
out of the
end
Discord. Ban him.
2016, Hungrybox quit his job to
Unfortunately,
play
he's a
Melee
mod,
full-time.
so I can't really. Do
I'm
that.
you. I'm kidding.
At first, his newfound commitment to the game didn't seem to change
So,
much.
Greasy raided at a pretty unfortunate time where there's absolutely nothing for a while. Like,
But then,
I think in around 5 minutes, we're gonna find a rock, which means I'm at 34%. I'm like going downwards because I'm going back to the mainland.
For the #1 ranking. His rival Armada would fall to Plup, who was in the midst of an incredible winner's bracket run. Hungrybox would stumble early, then proceed to tear through the loser's bracket to meet Plup in grand finals. As the crowd rallied around the underdog Plup to complete his fairy tale run, the glass slipper broke.
That might. Oh, and Hungrybox.
2, 24, 23, 417.
There was no pop-up.
Yeah,
after
you gotta see
Hungrybox
this.
double
A rock's
eliminated Plup to
gonna be
capture
here
his
really
first
soon.
Big House title. He just
Okay,
slowly
maybe not
turned
really
his
soon
gaze
because I
towards
don't
the
really
now
know
lifeless
how
crowd.
far I've traveled.
A few people clapped, a couple cheered. Most had already begun filing for the exits without saying a
Wait,
word.
no, not 223.
Man, I'm in a weird.
293.
In what way?
323.
Usually when I win
Yes.
an event,
Turn around.
I'm like ecstatic and I jump off, but like I feel like I left part of me on that stage today. You ever have?
Wow, that is
everything, you're
decently
like,
worse
and
flow.
finally
What the
happens,
frick?
You're like, now what?
That's a huge margin.
1 year ago,
Yeah.
after the very same tournament, Hungrybox decided that he was
So-
ready to become Melee's best player.
I don't really
He never stopped to
know
consider whether Melee was
where
ready for him.
the rock is.
Be careful what you wish for, Juan.
Careful what you wish for, Juan. Oh yeah, right here? Oh no, stop holding W. This is another platform. It's not really relevant or anything. I just wanted to. I just saw something. All right.
Oh, can you stand in the middle of it?
Why did my friend get 3 times ladder? I don't know. Why'd you get 3 times louder?
Well, we're boned.
Well, you should ask them.
It's literally you.
Oh.
And
I don't know,
so
you should
we
ask
enter
them
the
then.
era
Oh
of
my.
HBox as the #1 Melee player, an era characterized by 2 remarkable shifts in Melee, the first of which being the end of the 5 gods dominating the game. The untouchable status of the gods.
Yeah, I don't see the rock yet, so it's 1 a.m.
After PPMD
I started
was
this at
forced to take
12:01
an
p.m.
indefinite leave of absence due to medical
Do the
issues.
Wordle.
To this day, he has
Oh yeah, you
still
can do the
not
Wordle
returned
now.
to competitive play.
I think I know what it is because OP, but I kind of forgot.
Yeah, it's Michael.
But many were
Yeah, I
glad
kind of
to
forgot,
know
yeah.
that the end was near.
Yeah, the Wordle's Michael.
Is that a word?
You shamelessly do what I want to do. You just want to stream and listen to Joe Rogan podcasts. Well,
2018 saw
this
the
is my
year's
longest
2
stream ever,
biggest events
because,
fall to new
like,
contenders, with Plup
I wanted
taking
to do this.
Genesis and Leffen taking
I wanted to get it
Evo.
over with, but I knew it would be
Midway
18
through
hours.
2018,
And I
Armada
was like,
seemed
I never did a
poised to
24-hour
retake the
stream.
#1
I'm just
rank
gonna do
from
this for 18 hours
Hungrybox,
and whatever the
only
hell
to
they want for
shock
another
everyone
6.
by announcing his sudden retirement from Melee singles competition. Although never explicitly mentioned, many have attributed his retirement to
Oh,
the
is that it?
constant stress he suffered from
Or
trying to
am I
keep
just seeing
pace
things
with
like
Hungrybox.
94% of the time?
For me, I feel like if I can't
Your longest
have
is 14
fun
hours? Ooh, damn.
doing it,
I'm gonna beat that really soon, so.
then it's no point in doing it.
I'd get canceled for this world, I guess, but nobody will see it.
Shifting his focus away
What?
from Melee in
That
favor
didn't
of
work.
streaming and writing
What?
his book.
Who said that?
In 2019, Mewtwo King
Oh.
only competed in 4
Usually if you get
events
7
and
without
looks
trying, you
unlikely
push it to over
return
10.
full-time competition anytime soon.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mango, perhaps the most dominant player
Honestly,
ever in his
my longest
prime,
streams usually come on the
failed to
weekend,
win a tournament
because,
in
well,
2018.
school
And
and
while
stuff.
he can
But hey,
still
it's summer, I
crank
don't
out
have
the
school yet.
occasional epic performance,
I have school for 3
his
weeks.
inconsistency
Wait, really,
has
don't you start school
relegated
Monday?
him to a shadow of his former glory,
Yeah.
placing his in
I mean,
serious question. These days, it
damn,
seems that
that
Hungrybox
sucks.
is the only god left who can still strike fear into the hearts of his opponents.
Not gonna
through
trust
his
you
sheer
anymore.
dominance alone.
Social
In
experiment.
his time,
You can
there
still
were
trust
4
me.
others like him. Now, there's just one.
Nah.
Wow.
The current state of Melee is represented partly by the decline of the gods,
You're still in
but
school?
mostly by something far more confounding.
Not sure if you'll be
Hungrybox
surprised by
always
this,
wanted
but
to become the
14,
best
I'm
in the
14.
world. He struggled through years of frustration, gradually improving and eventually
I'm
defeating the
surprised.
best players that Melee had
You
to
literally,
offer.
oh my
But
god.
when he finally achieved his life's goal, he began to realize that the promised land didn't exactly come as promised. Becoming #1 in the world was the hardest thing Hungrybox had done in his entire life.
You're
He
14
was
in like
about to
3
find out
days?
that being #1 was
In
even
like
harder.
3 days? But you don't
It's
know your
common
birthday?
for sports or games to generally dislike their
Is this
most
a surprise?
dominant competitors.
Wow.
But in all these
It's
cases,
crazy.
most of the hatred
Even though
never
everyone's here.
strays far from the confines of the competitive landscape.
Yeah.
I know your birthday. I don't know who you
Destroys
are.
your team in the playoffs, but
I
if
know
you
your
saw him walking
birthday,
down
it's
the
Michael.
street, you'd probably want his autograph. In Melee,
Oh.
the hatred for Hungrybox has progressed far
I
beyond
might get this
simple
Wordle
competitive
wrong.
rivalry.
Oh
I
my.
only got yellows.
Fraction of the Melee community
Dog
seem to
water.
treat Hungrybox with utter contempt. A lot
What
of this
guess are you
comes
on?
from the idea that by simply
4.
being the #1 player,
Alright, you only got 4, you'll be fine.
Hungrybox is killing the game. Much of this rhetoric
Not 14
Oh, I
times,
can-
right?
players
Oh,
like
okay.
Leffen,
Your City
who has
K-12 has
assumed
been
the
back
role
to
of
school for weeks.
Hungrybox's
Your first year of
arch-rival
college, though, they start
following
later.
Armada's retirement. Leffen is
Yeah,
perhaps the
I
biggest
mean,
proponent of the Puff Doomsday theory.
for
a
me, it's
scenario I have
like, it
unofficially
starts in
labeled
September, ends
20FF.
mid-June. Like, I start September 8th, and end like mid-late June.
Leffen believes that Jigglypuff is not only the strongest character,
What
but the
was
easiest
this
to
word?
play.
I should have
In the
remembered
year
what
of
OP said.
20FF, no one plays Fox
Yeah,
anymore because everyone
probably
has
said
switched
some
to
amazing
Puff in
things.
order to beat Hungrybox.
No, because
Melee
for
games
some
have
reason
evolved into
in
boring,
the
unwatchable stall fest
Wordle
where
channel,
the
he's
only
always
way
like,
to win is
oh,
determined by which Puff
tomorrow's
player can
Wordle,
camp the other.
Oh, tomorrow's
A
Wordle
compelling
is
theory
frogs.
until you realize that
and then it's like
Hungrybox is
actually
the only
that, but I
best
kind of
player in the
forgot
top
what he said,
35,
so.
and
Tomorrow's
has
Wordle
been
is
for
Bebo.
basically the past decade. Even now,
Because I keep
entering year
accidentally
3 of
clicking them,
Hungrybox as Melee's top player,
like the spoilers.
Jigglypuff mains are still few and far
Yeah,
between.
I
If
just thought
Puff
Op was
was
joking.
truly such an
Alright,
unskilled,
you're gonna
overpowered
go support your boy
character
that
as
really
many of its
streams. Good
ardent
luck
critics
finding
like to
the
claim,
Mythical Rock.
then surely someone,
The Mythical Rock is
anyone
actually coming
else
out
could
really,
have
really
risen to the
soon.
top of the Melee
So,
metagame besides HBox.
yeah.
20FF theorists
But
will often
I'm trying to get
counter
back to
this
the
by saying
mainland,
that
which
playing
is
Puff
further
so
away.
boring
Anyways,
that
yeah,
hardly
go support your
anyone
bud.
is willing to play as the character, even if it could vastly improve
If you
their
don't come
tournament
back, then have a
results.
great,
They say
well,
this despite the great number of
good night, I guess.
players who only practice
And
wobbling setups
enjoy
for
the
the
rest
sole
of your
purpose of cheesing tournament wins.
endeavors,
In a
or whatever.
competitive game, it's no surprise that people will do anything to win.
You play to win the game.
What is this word?
And at some point, you have
I
to
got
count
4
the
yellows
fact
and I don't
that
know what it is.
ROBLOX is the only puff player in the modern era who has
Fifth
been
guess right
able
now.
to consistently win.
That's the
Yeah.
great thing about sports. You play to win. You don't play to just play it.
You'll probably be
Some
like,
critics also like to claim
when
that
you see,
Puff
when
is
you
as boring
realize
to
what it
watch
is.
as it is to play, and that Melee is hemorrhaging viewers for as long as HBox is on top. Even though in 2019, during Hungrybox's most dominant stretch, peak viewership actually increased across most tournaments. This is consistent with many other spectator sports. By and large, audiences tune in to watch juggernauts. Michael Jordan was possibly the most dominant player in NBA history. As he led the Bulls to their 6th championship in 8 seasons, the NBA set their all-time record for television viewership. The next season, after Jordan's retirement, ratings plummeted. The same pattern can be observed in golf, whose ratings are notoriously dependent on whether Tiger Woods is in contention.
Why did I guess that? Wait. Oh wait, I got it. Let's go. Wait.
Why did I guess that? Oh, I got it. Yay. Wow, that's average relief Wordle.
When the show returned to its regular, unremarkable contestants. When people watch stuff, they want stakes. They want to follow a story. They want antagonists to root against.
Yeah, I could have messed up that swap.
Because they fulfill all of these things.
Just in case, no.
Stop a vocal portion of the community from
Could have messed that up.
Hungrybox is single-handedly killing Melee.
I'm basically trying to say Hungrybox deserves more credit. And
Yo, my Wordle looks never mind.
It's been winning for so long.
Your Wordle looks never mind. Alright, what does it look like?
Are celebrated like God's gift to the game. The goal of the game
what is that?
to stopping HBox. The Smash community
It looks like a dinosaur on top of a dinosaur.
Against their top players. In Smash 4,
What word did you
brawl, no one was better than
What was your 5th guess?
At one point, he won 56 tournaments in a row. A record that will likely never be broken by any other Smash competitor.
Do you know the word, right? Just switch out, switch them out.
And after 3 years of constant pressure and harassment from the Smash
18 people are watching, so I would say the word, but I don't want to spoil it to anyone.
From competition entirely. Even
though no one's chatting,
you can just imply it, like say it.
Being one of the most widely respected players of all time.
I could just mute my OBS mic and say it.
With a
Hold on a second.
floaty defensive character, not many people considered Armada to be a threat to the game itself.
Maybe.
Nothing Armada
like what
ever
kind of guess is that?
Well, it worked.
I mean, yeah, but like what?
His eternal reward for struggling and clawing.
You haven't heard of Arrest Sales Corporation?
I will arrest you.
That's not how you spell it.
Don't care.
It doesn't matter
So
where
mean.
Hungrybox goes today.
It means someone with like
So mean, kill yourself.
with duty or bond.
Duty like
Or not
D-U-T-Y.
No.
He's ruining the game. Many are quick to
I'm on
express
that.
their sheer disgust for HBox as a person. Some decry
Also, were you
his willingness
muted?
to play friendlies or
On
mentor other
OBS, yeah.
players, as he tends
But
to
now I'm
guard
not.
his
Okay.
own
Now I'm not
gameplay
muted
as
on
a trade
OBS.
secret. Others cite instances of his infidelity in past relationships as an indictment against his morals. Most just accuse Hungrybox of being generally rude or egotistical based on interactions from years ago. There's a saying in the Melee community that everyone has an HBox story, me included. I mean, this one time I saw Hungrybox at a grocery store in Gainesville, but I won't get into that here. The point is that Melee players can usually pull out a laundry list of reasons for why they detest HBox on a personal level. And for that reason, he gets
And
scrutinized
SR4,
more
'cause I
than
hit
any
myself.
other player in the
What's
game.
SR4?
Athletes like Michael Jordan and Tiger
That one
Woods
game.
each had their
I
own
only
share
know
of personal
SR4
respective
Saints Row
audiences were
4.
both able to look past that and appreciate
Classic.
their accomplishments as competitors.
Saints Row 4 classic. Favorite game.
All too difficult time applying the same treatment to Hungrybox. They like to assume that everything HBox does has some nefarious, self-serving plan behind it. It got bad enough to where Hungrybox couldn't even look at his watch on stage without facing backlash and drama. It's as if Melee people have such a low opinion of HBox that they couldn't give him the benefit of the doubt that he may have been running late for a flight and wanted to keep track of the time. It doesn't matter how much he reforms his actions and attitude today. Hungrybox has always been held to his lowest standard, and he's never allowed to overcome his past reputation. Perhaps the community's apparent zero-tolerance policy for rudeness and ego would make a little more sense if they also
Why
applied
not
it
have
to
the leg
Leffen,
on?
who publicly
No, it's
disrespects
just
other
really bad
players,
Wi-Fi.
games, and communities on a weekly
Yeah, really bad
basis.
Wi-Fi, like Michael
But
Wi-Fi.
alas, Leffen, like every other player, gets cheered wildly over Hungrybox. After a while, the whole list of grievances
Oh, the music
against
finally
allowing
loaded in. I
Hungrybox
didn't
to
realize
get
I
their
even
leads
had
like
audio
soap,
on.
rapes, double
By the way, what's
standards,
music?
and empty excuses. At the end of the day, the Melee community stigmatizes
I don't know.
HBox
Just
for the
search
same
up.
reason they always have.
Never
What
mind.
doesn't fit
Just
in
search
with
up
their idea
Michael.
of what Melee should be. The mere existence of Hungrybox challenges the fundamental identity of the game itself. Melee prides itself on its fast-paced gameplay, yet its top player uses one of the slowest characters. Melee celebrates its highly skilled technical mechanics,
Wind
yet its
change as
top
soon as I
player
try to
uses
turn.
the character with the most simplistic controls. Melee relies on its risky
A
and
bit of a
aggressive
strong wind here.
playstyles to wow its spectators, yet its top player plays patiently and defensively. Hungrybox can never be
Oh,
truly
my eyes hurt.
respected because Hungrybox isn't
My testic,
Melee.
my
But
eyes
allow me
also
to
hurt.
explain to you how he is. It's July 9th, 2013. After raising more than $90,000 for charity, the Melee community punched a ticket for their beloved franchise to return to EVO. After 6 long years of waiting, the biggest Melee tournament in history was less than a week away. This could be Melee's big break. If the talent can put on a good enough show, Melee may finally be recognized for the brilliant competitive masterpiece it is. With less than 3 days to go before the tournament, Nintendo blocked EVO from streaming Melee, to the absolute shock of the Smash community. Eventually, after a sizable amount of backlash, Nintendo allowed the event to proceed as normal.
What happened?
The message had been delivered loud and clear.
He's falling down level 2.
Nintendo would never truly respect Smash as a competitive
Like the
game.
one thing where you can either hold
competitive
base
Melee
on,
got,
like on that
the
one slope where
community
you
would
hold
always
space
be
and
on
hope
their
for the
own.
best,
It
or
didn't
you
really make
just
much
played
of a
safe and
difference
just
because
press
that's
space
how it
once
had
and
always
then
been. But in
I don't
an
know. I
age
just
where
hold
most game
space and
developers
roll
embrace
for the best.
competitive play by bankrolling huge tournament pots, it's discouraging
19
to
viewers?
realize
That's
that
like
Melee
19
will
viewers.
never have that privilege. 2019
Like,
saw a Fortnite player earn $3 million
person.
by winning a single tournament. That's nearly 10 times the prize money that Hungrybox has won in his entire career. A career in which he consistently placed top 5 at more than a dozen tournaments per year for over a decade. It's sad to think that top Melee players who are so talented and draw in so many viewers often have a hard time affording rent for tournament winnings alone. Melee fans love Mango.
Relieved,
because
rock.
Mango represents how they see Melee.
Where?
What many of them don't consider is
I have
that
stream delay.
Hungrybox represents how the rest of the world sees Melee.
It's like up there.
Other Smash players
Like, see
often
my
regard
cursor?
Melee players as rude
Well,
and
are you
arrogant.
about to see my
How
cursor?
do you see that?
Root against Melee success. Casual players
My
are
eyes
often
are trained to
hostile
see
the
very
idea
few
that
pixels
Smash
that
is
are
even played
checkpoints.
Wait, move your mouse away?
Much of the Smash fandom can't even comprehend the reasoning behind turning off items in tournament play. When Melee was removed
Oh, I
from the
can.
EVO lineup in
It's like it looks
2019,
like a little
many people
shadow,
celebrated, saying that Melee
even
no
though it's
longer
not.
deserved the spotlight.
Let's
Lots
go,
of people in the
man.
general fighting game community believe that Melee never
Let's
deserved the
go.
spotlight
Name
it
it
got.
Win.
The Smash Bros.
Wilson. Put a
franchise
face
and
on it.
Nintendo
And
games
If
in
I do
general have
at,
been
I'm pretty sure
stigmatized
at.
as kids games ever since they censored blood in Mortal Kombat. Many traditional fighting game players don't respect competitive Smash for this very reason. They can't take a game seriously.
So
if
Poke
it
said
was
rocks
never
are at
intended for
74,
serious
43,
play.
34,
Because Smash is a kid-friendly,
20 something.
casual-friendly game, the FGC likes to assume that it's easy and claim that competitive Smash players don't have the skill.
Poke,
to
what are all the
withstand
rock
boots.
locations again?
As long as Smash players don't have to memorize button combinations.
Don't include what's it
that
called?
must mean that the
74,
controls are
43, and
crude
34.
and basic, and that you don't need to put in any real effort to win a Smash tournament. All this sound familiar?
I'm more than
That's because
halfway.
Melee sees Hungrybox how the rest of Smash sees Melee. The fighting game community treats Smash how Melee treats Hungrybox. You may not want to believe it, but Hungrybox is Melee in the most literal sense. Both spent years being told they weren't good enough, that they would never achieve what they would eventually become.
Zam, right?
Both were
Zam?
constantly disrespected, stigmatized, and ridiculed because they didn't quite fit into what others thought they should be. Both were able to succeed even though everyone else wanted them to fail.
Right.
Both have a huge chip on their shoulder because no matter what they accomplish, how many challenges they overcome, and how much they prove themselves,
So exited.
they will never get the respect they deserve. In the countless, endless online arguments between the FGC and Smash, Melee fans will always defend their game by
Piss
saying
rock.
just because
True.
it's different doesn't mean it's easy.
It's yellow, so it's piss.
Hungrybox just
Yeah, just like
faces
sand.
in size.
Yeah.
It's hard for everyone. It's not easy.
Sand's not yellow, it's orange.
It's just it's all hard to win tournaments.
You just said.
Just
My bad.
get better.
Hungrybox is melee. And you know what else?
I keep pulling a Cryptopolis and put like my camera like
And as
on the
much as some
ground.
people would tell you otherwise, melee
Yeah,
has
you
never been more
you just face your camera like directly towards the ceiling, like as high as you can. That's called Cryptopolis
It
gameplay.
also saw a Pikachu main and a Captain Falcon main win majors for the first time in the history of the game. So despite Melee entering its 20th year of competitive play, it appears to be far from a solved game.
F5 the
And that's because
penguin.
despite how
I
many
died.
people bought into 20XX, Jigglypuff is the meta. While the rise of Fox encouraged many players to get increasingly faster and more aggressive, the rise of Hungrybox has forced many of them back to the drawing board. Even though the new era has been tough on Foxes, it has led to the rise of a new generation of players with more patient, strategic playstyles. Players like Zane, Wizrobe, and Amsa have all demonstrated the capacity to beat Hungrybox without a favorable character matchup.
Would you ever do this?
Despite his recent dominance, Hungrybox has never looked
It depends.
frequently losing
It lasts
I don't play-
it
I
lasts
don't play
it
with
lasts
it.
17 hours.
This is mostly due to how, at long last, the rest of Melee's competition
I mean,
is
if they give me
finally
25
catching up to the
Robux,
level of the
sure.
gods.
Or
In
65.
present-day
It doesn't give you
Melee,
25 or
the
65
gods are the
Robux.
old generation,
Oh,
and
never mind.
Hungrybox is the
Gives you
last of the
90,000.
gods. Melee is approaching the
Oh.
precipice of
Is
an
that actual?
entirely new era,
No.
and Hungrybox
Damn.
remains the last
I would have
standard
gotten
of
at
the
least
old
65
days.
from that.
In a way, Hungrybox
Nah.
carries the torch of all the gods. Newer players will never know the satisfaction of challenging a prime Mango
I need
or
65
Armada or
Robux.
BKB. For them, facing Hungrybox is the next He represents one of the few remaining links between old and new Melee. And as much as some Melee fans would like
I
to
don't
forget,
know.
he's an integral part of the game's history.
Wait, when do you want to do the tournament match?
Hungrybox, like Melee, is still going
7 hours?
strong all these years later.
Huh?
In 2018, Nintendo released the fifth
Oh crap! You're still gonna be awake?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So far, it has been the first Smash title to
We're not doing
successfully
it at
appeal
that.
to
We're not
both
doing it at
sides of
7
the
a.m.
competitive community, with players like Armada, Leffen, and even Hungrybox.
You lost connection on SR4? No.
Melee still consistently
Man.
surpasses it in viewership.
Knew the funny record though.
Even in its advanced age, Melee is the future and shows no signs of dying off.
What is funny? The funny? What's like? How do you even?
The funny is like, like you know what's it called? That getting over it category.
And now, at long last, we return to the crab, perhaps the most enduring symbol of Melee's relationship with
meme%.
Hungrybox.
It was
Twitch is recommending you a hot tub stream. Share a
I think
link.
everyone does that. Everyone has that.
Can you share the link? Wrong chat.